have realized that if I press like Control Z, my like thing just won't register what we are looking at. So give me 1 second. I don't know why it's doing this.
Raven, you've also been muted this entire time. You muted yourself. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Did you hear me when I said that the original sketch that Eli Manning did was Penn State? However,
I heard all of that. You just didn't hear me.
No, I didn't hear
When did I mute myself?
Girl, I don't know.
I was so offended for like 0.10 seconds because I thought you muted me when Kate started talking, and I was like, all you have to do is tell me to stop talking,
No,
Rachel.
I'm trying to unmute you, and it won't let me. It was like, you can't unmute anybody.
Because I got like a little notification in the top, and for like a second I was like, okay, teacher Rachel. Okay.
I think maybe when you pulled out the wiring,
it just automatically muted me.
Or I was like, no, because my mouse is by your face. I was like, it also might have been like my mouse might have been like on top of the thing, and I didn't notice.
I don't think it was you because it didn't say like Rachel muted you. It just said like muted, and I was like, oh.
No, I was like, it might have been the headphones.
Okay, I'll take a screenshot when we're ready, so we can tweet it before we go live.
Hold on, Kate is setting us up.
Yes. Ooh. I have to do something weird with my headset because I'm like, it technically won't go over my head.
Yes. When you're go live, let me know so I can hit the YouTube intro.
Yep, I will let you know. We are almost there.
Okay, I'm gonna screenshot and I'll tweet real quick.
I keep saying,
hold on. Damn it, it's not working. Hold on.
No worries.
Everything is a mess. You can screenshot if you want. I have to. Shit. Sorry, it was working, and then I tried to adjust something, and it stopped working. Give me a second. Okay, we're working. We're good. We're good. Make this bigger. Okay. Powell Pod logo. Windows capture, but okay, cool. We're good.
Long. Okay, wait. I'm gonna tweet real quick.
Hurry!
I don't know how to do headset over the cowboy hat, but we'll see.
What do I say? What do I say? Live now?
Yeah, live now on Twitch.
Yes.
And tell me when I should hit real quick.
Okay, we're gonna go live. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Powell Pod, a Glenn Powell podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Rachel Leishman.
I'm Raven Brunner.
Maggie's not here because she is sick, and I will sing her a song in a moment. But Kate, why don't you tell everyone why you are here on our beloved Twisters episode and the exciting situation we find ourselves in?
Hello, I'm Kate, and to everybody in the Twitch chat, hi, I'm also Kate. I've commandeered the Powell podcast to talk about my beloved Glenn Powell and my beloved movie Twisters, but also because we are raising money because supporting independent media is cool and great, and it's something that you should do immediately. So we're raising money throughout the month of November for us to fund ourselves throughout 2025. Earlier today, we hit our first goal. So we hit January and now we're funding February. So yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm really excited.
So happy to have you.
No. So guys, before we get started, Maggie is sick. So Maggie couldn't be here for the live episode. So I said I would sing her a Sarah McLachlan song. I think she thinks I'm singing In the Arms of the Angel because she kept sending dog memes, but
that's what I thought. We have a group chat, so all this came out in the group chat. And when you said Sarah McLachlan, I was like, in the eyes.
No, I was like, I will remember you.
That's a good one.
She's not here. So I will.
She's not dead though. She's not dead though.
She's not dead though. She's fine. She's
okay.
sick.
One thing we'll add though is when she told us that she was not feeling well, we got on the topic of people having their tonsils taken out, and she had mentioned something that she thought her tonsils were growing back in, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's been 3 to 4 hours since that convo, and I cannot believe that's a fucking thing that happens to our bodies.
Wait, no, tonsils grow back in?
Yeah.
Is that true? Because like we're saying this is a scientific fact right now. Rachel, is that true?
Yeah, me, the knower of science. Yes.
Dr. Rachel?
Dr. Rachel. Yes.
I have my tonsils still in here, so no one's ever talked to me about my tonsils. But if everyone who doesn't have their tonsils is saying that they might grow back, I think that's true.
That is...
It's true. It's true.
Oh, like, so the streets are saying that your tonsils grow back.
The streets are saying
this,
it.
Yes.
Like, at Ryan Murphy, that needs to be included in the next season of American
Horror
Story.
That's actually terrifying, though.
And bam, first Ryan Murphy mentioned in the podcast.
Don't be giving him
6 minutes
ideas.
Record.
Yeah. So to start, Kate, why don't you tell the lovely listeners who you are and your journey with Gwyneth Powell Jr. or Glenjamin, as the internet calls him.
So I'm from Texas, which is why my mom, when I told her I was dressing up as Glen Powell, got me an actual Stetson hat, not just like a regular cowboy hat, which I'm now going to move to the side because it is really hot. And
the bit is over. The bit is gone.
I'm going to pull these on. The bit's done. I've glenned enough Powell. But yeah, I am who I am is I'm editor-in-chief of butwhythough.net. We're an independent outlet that does video games, movies, TV, anime, comics. We do a lot of interviews, do a lot of everything. But in my heart, I hope to one day see Mr. Glen Powell in my humble city of Austin, Texas, where I am also from. And I like, after Top Gun Maverick, I was like, okay, like he's fine. He was kind of annoying, whatever. And I'm sure the funny thing is I'm sure my husband knows this before I do. I can't remember the exact movie that I saw where I was like, oh my God, Glen Powell. But it happened. And then Twisters came up, and it happened even more because he was letting the Texas twang. And I remember that entire junket tour that he did. And he was like, oh yeah, my goal was to become an actor, move to LA, make enough money to just go back to Texas. And I was like, same, I would not live anywhere else. Let's go. And so I fell in love with him, and that's where I am. I don't know if that's a good directory or like explanation of my history with Glen Powell or how much I love him, but it really is just a good old Texas boy being a good old Texas boy, and like a sweet one and not a bad one, which I don't get a lot of. So
listen, I've been to Austin. I like it. It is very funny because I also dressed up as Glen Powell. My mother said, where's your dad's Stetson? That's the first time I knew my dad had a Stetson. So I was like, I don't know, Phyllis. You tell me where it went. And it was very funny because my friend at New York Comic Con said, you dress like a cowboy one day and you start talking like you're from the South. And I was like, sir, I lived in the state of North Carolina for 8 years. What do you mean? I just started talking like I'm from the South. I was like, it's there. It's just not, I don't proudly pronounce my Southern accent that often. But that's a beautiful love story. I'm sorry that you can't appreciate Jake Saracen, but hopefully
in retrospect I can. Like after the magic took hold, I'm now able to go back and watch that and be like, oh, I still want to punch you, but I also would love to kiss your face. I can do both.
Hangman Saracen. But so Raven, before we start, how have you been?
I've been good. I can't complain. Like honestly, I've just been chilling, having the time of my life. I've been good.
Yeah, we ate empanadas on the street.
Yes. But like, I feel like Rachel and I have had, because we both live in New York City. Maggie lives not in New York City, Virginia. And I feel like you and I have had a few reunions since our last Powell Pod episode, because we were both at New York Comic Con, which we saw each other very briefly a few times. And then we both went to that A24 screening of Queer. Ate some empanadas on the street. In A24.
In actual A24, where Raven thought I was going to die
We have to tell the story top to fucking bottom.
So we see the movie Queer. We're in an A24 screening room with like 11 chairs. And I had said going in, do you think I can find out information about Huntington? Huntington. I tweeted it. Huntington is the movie that Glenn Powell is doing with A24. So I was just joking around because every time I'm in one of those studios, I make a joke. Like if I'm in Paramount, I'm like, what if I put a Star Trek 4 script on somebody's desk? Like I just
know that someone in that office knows something that no one else knows, that like we do not know.
As we discovered in A24, because we leave and if there was I kept hitting the freight elevator like thing to call up the elevator.
You walk into A24 and you go up the stairs to get to the screening room, but the elevator takes you to the floor below. So we walk out of the screening room and we go like, oh, look at these brand new elevators. Let's see if we can get into it. So Rachel's like pressing the button and opens up a freight elevator and she just walks in there. Like she just gets in the elevator.
Look, you need to lead with like you just go. You know where you're going. Nobody will ever question you.
No, there were trash bags in there. It looked scary. And I was like, I stood outside the elevator and I said, Rachel, I'm not getting in there. I was like, I don't know what this is.
That there's one day going to be a sign that just says Glenn Powell in here. And I was just going to walk into the room and get murdered because I just like followed a sign that said that he was in a room.
And we're like talking about this as we're going down the stairs to the normal elevators. And
this guy overheard and goes, oh, is he the sexiest man alive? Because it was literally the night that it was announced. And we were like, what? Oh, no. Sorry. She's making fun of me because I love Glenn Powell. And she said that I would get murdered one day because someone would just be like, Glenn Powell in here. And he goes, we have a movie coming out with him, right? I went, yeah, Huntington, the top of my lungs. And this man then proceeded to talk to me about Huntington. And like, he didn't give me any intel, just like hints that stuff is coming. And I was like, great. I need nothing else. I just know that Huntington is on its way.
But the way that we just carry the Powell Pod energy everywhere we go, I think is a little iconic.
Yeah, like today,
it's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, so you know what? I'm not going to share my tales of woe. If people want to know, I had
wait, Rachel, how have you been?
I almost died today. That was fun.
New York, baby.
There was a guy in my train car with a gun, and then another guy with a knife. And this girl, listen, she thought she was a hero, and I loved her for thinking this. She told the entire train. She like walked by and was like, "Guy's got a gun. Like, get out of the train." So we all follow her, thinking she looked, and she led us directly into a dead end on the train platform. And so we were all just at the end of this, and you have people who are laying on the floor. And I realized in that moment that I have such a kind of cool, like, all right, if there's a situation, I'll find a way out of it, whatever, reaction to things like that. Because I stood there, I waited. When people started to like go in the train tracks and run up the other side of the platform, I said, dope, I'm going to do that. And I brought my coffee with me. Like my Starbucks made it through the entire ordeal because I was like, this is an expensive cup of coffee. I'm not throwing it out. And I like,
wait, you have to reset the scene for me. Did you say in the train tracks?
Yeah, I went. So what happened was,
hold on. The way with which you were like, yeah,
so casually said it.
Wait, so I had to jump down into the train tracks.
And you just followed a random lady and not like the MTA conductor?
They were nowhere to be found. The MTA, they're my enemy right now. They were nowhere to be found.
We do not recommend this to anybody watching this video.
No. The best part of this whole story was another train was coming. So me and the girl who were in the train tracks had to wait until the train had like stopped. And the guy rolls down his window and was like, "Are you guys insane?" And we were like, "No, there's a man with a gun." And he went, "Oh." And so then he got on the phone and started telling, and I was like, what is going on? I'm in cowboy boots trying to climb up the other side because I had on like my boots and my jeans. So it was a day. And the only thing I could think about was, oh man, I don't want to not talk about Twisters tonight because I'm very excited about Twisters.
Sad-ing.
I survived.
That's all that matters. And now you have a story to tell.
Yeah, I said.
Was the shooting confirmed, or not the shooting, but was the guy with the gun confirmed? Or
Yeah,
was
by like everyone who was in my dream.
That's terrifying.
Said, did you see it? I went, I didn't stay around to find out.
I mean,
said knife. I went, I'm out. Just like walked down this train tracks.
And you're here now to tell the tale.
Before we get started, we will talk a little briefly about the news. Just there's not much news.
The GP news. The Glenn
Powell news. The Glenn Powell news.
Not the news because yikes.
We're good. Good on that front. The Glenn Powell news is he's running a lot, meaning in the Running Man, every set picture, he is just running somewhere.
Obsessed. Have never been more obsessed in my life.
It's just like, when in doubt, he's running. Now he's running, I think, in Scotland. I don't know. I saw today. There are new pictures. He's in the same outfit in all of these, which, to be fair,
is the movie like one sequence? I know you're familiar with the book.
No, kind of, sort of. So what has happened in this film? I'm finding everyone some pictures of Glenn Powell running because I think it's genuinely funny. Here's a collection of them. I will
look. I enjoy Tom Cruise running. I can enjoy Glenn Powell running. I will have two running people in my life, and that is.
There's nothing more beautiful than Tom Cruise running, but this is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh my gosh.
On the what side is that? On the left is crazy. But my favorite thing is, why does he have on 8 layers? Like 1, 2, so many layers. And then like there's a hoodie.
Those are a lot of layers.
Yeah, so many layers. And oh wait, he changed his shoes. Those ones are running shoes. Those are some boots.
Fascinated.
Fascinated. Shoes are changing. So the plot is that this man, like, his daughter is sick, and it's supposed to be 2025 in the book because the book was written in the 80s. But it's like a dystopian future where there's like barely any food and stuff, but you can join these game shows that are essentially designed to kill you. So there's one called like Treadmill or Death or something like that. And what it is if you have a heart condition or like asthma or something that makes it like you should not run, they put you on the treadmill and you have to run to see how far you can go.
Is this like a dystopian universe? Like, or do you volunteer?
Yeah. You volunteer. They're not just pulling you
up.
Like
people from the hospital.
Okay, I feel like even volunteering, like running with a heart condition to get help for something, is still dystopian.
You're right.
Walking on doors like, who's got asthma in here? You volunteer. So what happens is like his daughter is sick, and she's like an infant. And has like pneumonia, and they can't get the medicines. They don't have enough money. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to go. And he's like such an asshole throughout the entire process that they're like, we know the perfect game show to put you on. It's called The Running Man, and it's essentially the most dangerous game. So like Lee Pace is just going to hunt
6'5" Lee Pace.
Let's go. This is perfect.
Yeah. 2 Texas boys chasing each other.
This is my dream. Dream.
As a Lee Pacer for life, I've never been happier with the casting news. I think that was the day I was straight up dressed like Glenn Powell when that news came out at New York Comic Con, and I broke down on a press line because I was like, Lee Pace. But yeah,
well, no, that's when Josh Brolin came out. So did they just release all of the other casting when Josh Brolin?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I remember hearing Michael Cera was joining the cast around the same time, and I like lost my fucking mind. I love that man.
But also it's Edgar Wright and Michael Cera, which makes
Scott Pilgrim reunion in the house.
All you need is Nick Frost in like the background of some scene, and I'll be like, I'm sold. This is top notch. But yeah, so he is running a lot because the premise is that he's running for his life. I just got to the part in the book where he runs to New York. Like they have a window of a certain amount of hours to like go and hide, and it's very Hunger Games-y too because they have to like drop off their footage. So
it sounds like a Hunger Games meets Squid Game.
Okay, yeah, essentially, because people are gonna die. Katie O'Brien, Twisters, is playing one of the contestants. Who is? I think it's William H. Macy is playing like someone who's helping him.
I love him.
Yeah, it's really good. The other news is Chad Powers. You can bring out your Chad Powers hat.
It's not Chad Powers. It's Penn State.
Yeah. So there was a glimpse for Chad Powers, which is coming out in 2025, in the Hulu thingamajig that had like all of the Marvel shows and my little.
It was a 2025 teaser. Yeah, I thought it was a little dirty to combine that with the bear. Like everything else, I felt like was like the same level of like excitement. Like Ironheart, I was really excited for, but I was like, I can feel this in one big compilation. But to put the bear bits in there, I was like, I had to watch the teaser 3 or 4 times to even notice Glenn Powell was in there. So I was just like, the bear.
Not me. I was like, that's Chad Powers.
What about you, Kate? Did you watch it?
No. Well, so see, I divested myself from the MCU a long time ago. So if it like most of the trailers that are dominated by them, I tend to not watch. However, I watch the Manning cast every Monday. I gave up my college football Saturday today to do this stream, but Texas did win. So like Chad Powers is 100% like my I was gonna say my shit, but I didn't know if I could cuss or not.
You can cuss.
It's 100% my shit. It is so I'm very excited for it. I've been keeping up with the production news insofar as when he uses different stadiums to film at the half times of the actual football games.
That was so yeah, that was great. I love that they booed him and everyone was like, why is everyone booing but yeah. What was it? Oh, Vanity Fair named him as like one of the people of 2025. I would like to thank Vanity Fair for whoever styled him because he was looking like Patrick Bateman. He had a Patrick Bateman ass haircut for the picture that I will show later for Cowboy of the Week, but he also was in like a suit with a tie and like his hair was all slicked back and thank you. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you. Your American Psycho bitch appreciates. Good luck.
Do you think he's in the running at all for the American Psycho remake?
In my heart,
yeah,
yes,
but in reality,
Patrick Bateman's supposed to be 26 years old.
How old's Glenn Powell?
36.
Okay. I just feel like a lot of the people I've seen kind of fan cast also look older than they are.
Well, yeah, but Patrick Bateman in the book and the musical and in the movie all says,
this little monologue thing.
I'm 26 years old and this is what it means to be Patrick Bateman or whatever it is. But he says that he is.
There's also a very specific of like, I think forming like brain recently formed like level of 20s that I think has to go with Patrick Bateman.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't think he can necessarily pull it off, but I would like to see it.
Wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah.
But maybe he can be one of the office guys in the business card scene.
Oh yeah, yes, exactly.
He was Josh Lucas. Or just Paul Allen. Well, Paul Allen's name isn't really Paul. I can't get into this. It's Paul Allen's last name was changed in the movie, but it's different in the book. Whatever. That's what we'll do. Glenn Powell is Paul Allen. And yeah. And with that, guys, it is time to if we feel it, chase it.
Hey, Twisters time!
Okay. Raven had a good idea. We'll start with Kate and Raven, and then I'll talk about my experience.
This movie came out a long time ago. We have to say that. This movie came out a long time ago. So we want to know, I guess, your first experience with Twisters when you first saw it and what your like initial reaction was. Like, what did you feel walking out of the theater? So Kate, we'll start with you.
My favorite thing was in that press screening, I was sitting next to my friend's fiance and then 2 other women on my other side. And in the rain sequence with the shirt, I went, and then the person next to me said, mm-hmm. And I was like, yep, This is fantastic. No, like genuinely, like Twisters for me, I think when I walked out of it, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be because like I'm a person who is traditionally down on remakes overall, especially when it feels really like nostalgia focused. Like I just like make something new. But I walked out of it being like, oh my God, this is the first time in a long time I got that specific late 90s, early aughts blockbuster feel and heart that I have not gotten in a very long time. Please put Glenn Powell in more dad movies. I love this. It's fantastic. And I think like so I don't know if this is going into too much detail, but like when I was watching it, I was really excited with how much. So Twister 1 is a Midwest story. Twisters 2 is a Southern story, in my opinion, very specifically, because Oklahoma, like the northern part can be considered the Midwest, but all of Southern Oklahoma is essentially the South. And the way, I don't know if they meant it, but Tornado Alley actually shifted in recent years, and now it's called Dixie Alley because the tornadoes go all the way through the South now instead of in the Midwest. And so I left the movie being like, damn, that was a Southern as hell as movie. However, I don't buy that Glenn Powell is from Arkansas. That was the worst thing in this movie, and I will never believe it. That was it. Twin tornadoes, super tornado, diaper foam, twister absorbents. I can believe that, but Glenn Powell being from Arkansas, I could not. Although we did beat the Razorbacks butt today, so. Sorry, that was everywhere.
I appreciate it, Raven.
Wait, Kate, have you seen the movie again since? Like, have you watched it again?
Yeah.
Did you have that same feeling, or did new stuff kind of like watching the movie? Like, were you still equally as impressed?
I was, I was equally as impressed. And I would say, like, watching it back now, having heard Glenn Powell talk a lot about his love of Texas, and I think also understanding like what it means to have like Southern resiliency on film and everything like that, I think that I even had a bigger appreciation for the movie. And again, like I think some of these things may not be intentional. I think it may just be like I'm a person from the South watching this, and thus this is my take. But I actually think I've loved it a little bit more every time I've watched it since. And I've watched it about 2 times after. I watched it on a plane once on the way back from LA like a couple weeks ago. And then I watched it last night when I was staying up till 2 a.m. getting my stream together. I had it going on in the background. Glenn Powell needed to keep me company.
Yes. Well, I had a kind of a similar first reaction to Kate. So I saw it as well at a press screening. It was an IMAX screening. It was amazing. They gave us popcorn, which they don't always do, but this movie was a popcorn movie. Like, if you're gonna make me sit down for 3 hours, I want some popcorn. Anyways.
Wait. Twisters is 3 hours?
No.
How long? Okay. It's a long movie. How long is that movie?
2 hours.
2 hours and 2 minutes, but
yeah,
okay.
It's like 2 hours.
Literally 2 hours at the dot. It felt like 3. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. Not shade though. So I really liked the movie. Okay, reset. We're resetting.
This is live, Raven. Reset live.
Reset. Rewind. Anyway, so I went to that IMAX press screening. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a really big blockbuster person in general. I feel like I usually go for like the quiet indie movies. I like a slow movie. Yeah. I don't really like an action movie either, or like especially not like a rugged action movie. Like I could do like a scary thriller action movie, but this was just very like rugged Western. Yeah, it was like not necessarily for me, but I really enjoyed it for like what it was as a movie, which I think is really important when you're watching stuff to like see it as a movie versus like your own personal thoughts, because like you're at a screening versus watching it at home on your couch. I really enjoyed it. I thought the characters were great. I thought that it was like a good like redemption for Anthony Ramos for me. Like I was kind of like I'm a little tickled by him. Cute. Going back to the 2 hour thing though, I think that the pacing is weird. Like I remember watching it for the first time and seeing like the big twister hit the rodeo and thinking that was like the climax that happens right before the shit goes down and stuff like that. And I was just rewatching it to kind of prep for this, and it's literally like smack in the middle of the fucking movie. You have the whole second half of the movie after that.
You gotta go home.
I remember sitting in the theater watching it being like, oh, the crazy stuff is happening. Everything's heating up. It's going to end soon. And then I just sat there for another hour like, oh, okay. But I like it. I think it's a really good movie. Honestly, like nothing negative to say about it other than the pacing maybe wasn't for me, but I also just admitted that I don't really like the genre. So obviously when we're like digging deeper into the genre, I got a little bored. That's fair. What about you, Rachel?
So this movie broke me as a human being. I also saw it a press screening, but I was going to the press junket in LA. And so my friend Bill, like, he will say that this is what happened. We were sitting there, and there were certain parts of this movie that I had an audible reaction at this press screening. So like when they do the like, she's beautiful, and he's like, yeah, she is. I out loud said, are you fucking kidding me? In the movie theater, because I was like, what in the rom-com is going on? Why is it just like a romantic
everything?
Like, I was just like, what? And then I don't even want to talk about the noise I made in the rain scene. A lot of things. Like, I'm gonna talk in depth about this when we get to this part of the movie. But when he can't lean on the door frame, I like lost my mind. Like, all of those led to me breaking. Then I did the press junket where I realized I knew what Glenn Powell's dad looked like, because we were on like a hayride heading to the junket, and this guy just starts waving at us. And I looked at my friend and I was like, who's this guy? Like, why do I know this guy waving at us? And then we got a little bit further and I went, that's Glenn Powell's entire family. Like, it was just like literally like, as we were on a hayride, they were all like, hey guys.
That is so cute though.
It was very cute. And then they sat in the press all day, along with dogs, but not brisket. I'll never forgive that I didn't get to meet brisket that day. And then I came home and I went and saw it in 4DX.
That is this. I have never wanted to see something.
Don't do it.
Until this movie, I want to see this in 4DX, man.
Oh, so I hate 4DX. Okay, Rachel, you go.
Twice in 4DX. The first time was with a press screening. They like made us film ourselves, all that stuff. Was changed again as a human, just was like, I am Twisters. So then when they re-released it again, because it was only in there for a week and everyone kept talking about it, I brought a group of 11 people. And we all went and saw Twisters in 4DX.
I just like that you're evangelizing Twisters.
4DX. We all
like literally 4DX should sponsor you. We need to clip this and be like at 4DX. Because I will say,
bring Twisters back and I'll get everyone to go see Twisters again.
I like the concept of 4DX, and I can see when 4DX would be fun, but I think I am too much of like, I don't like unexpected things going on. Yeah. And I also am very much just like a movie purist. Like, I want to sit there with my food. I want everyone to shut the fuck up. I want everyone's cell phones off and away. I don't care if you're like in the aisle taking a picture of the screen. I don't care what's going on. The only thing I have a sympathy for are people who bootleg or who film it for the bootlegs, because I was a kid who grew up on like the bootleg filmed thing. So I have like a little bit of sympathy there. But otherwise, like if I see you texting someone on your fucking phone during a movie, you're dead to me. Anyways, so I went to a 4DX screening of Dune 2, and it was just so much going on. And then there's just like water and smells. And I was just thinking about like the bacteria in like Times Square, New York. I was like, this is so gross. And then like they whipped us around so much. I swear to fucking God, I woke up the next morning with whiplash. Like
that'll happen with Twisters. I would say the only thing I hated was the like rubble, like the stones that when they're like picked up the stones. It was in the middle of summer, so I was wearing shorts and sandals, and they have this little like these little tentacle things that come out.
Ew! Oh my God! No, don't describe it that way.
Tentacle.
It was tentacles on your ankles, and I forgot.
I mean, that's a kink somewhere.
Yeah,
I know.
Get on that.
You're not wrong. And then when I went back,
please don't show anime in 4DX.
No, please.
When I went back, like
the freaks in New York need it.
No. When I went back in August to see it a second time, I forgot about the tentacles, and so I wore shorts and sandals again. It was like, no, and so I just like sat with my legs like up the entire time because I was like, I'm not doing this for the second time. I'm not getting licked by these things in the middle of this movie anymore.
She said she was licked by tentacles in 4DX.
They would come out on my ankles. Hated it. Anyways,
you kind of sold me on it. I would like to see Twisters and 40X, not gonna lie.
Sponsor me 40X and the movie Twisters.
Hashtag Powell Pod.
Hashtag Powell Pod. I'll host a screening. It'll be like the Rowdy Cats screening I hosted pre-pandemic. Got everyone singing.
Do you still want to see Twisters and 40X?
Yes, I do actually. Only for the tentacles.
Only for the tentacles.
Anything for the tentacles.
Botanicals. Okay, all right, we're gonna dive in. Before we start, I forgot to do this. Every episode we do a what we're drinking in honor of Twisters, and I drink it every single time we record this podcast. I have my twisted tea.
Twisters tea.
When I saw it in 40X, I got Tall Boy Twisted Teas.
Did they give it to you? Because when I went to that press screening at 40X, they gave us Twisted Teas for Dune 2.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
crazy, you guys. I love that.
Man, I just get like
though.
You know what I get? I get a card that says fill it out and give it to us after the movie. When
I will never fill out anything. Like they will never get an early reaction from me.
Film people. Well, when I went and saw Twisters, I had my other version of the Not My First Tornado shirt, the gray one. And everyone's like, how'd you get that? And I was like, I'll never tell, and just walked away. They didn't know I had two. It's like, you're not getting either of them. They're mine.
Okay, so Rachel's drinking a twisted tea. Kate, what are you drinking? What are your bevies?
Okay, so this is so I started at 10 a.m. So 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So this is hour 8. It's longer than an 8-hour stream.
Do you have people after us?
Yeah, one more. We're talking about video games. I have Arizona tea for something that isn't water and maybe kind of hydrating. I have this big boy of water so that I don't die. And then I also have, I finished this coffee about like 2 hours ago. And then I just finished this energy drink. So
you're going
living my best gamer content creator life. I don't know how people do this regularly. Like, big shout out to the people who stream for a living because I'm gonna die today.
Yeah. Shout out to streamers. We love streamers at Powell Pod.
We're here to support our troops, the streamers.
Hey. Okay, so I'm also a multiple bevy person. I started with cranberry vodka and then I took a sip of it and I was like, not really feeling it. It's grown on me. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So then I was like, I needed something a bit more like just in case in case I needed to just ditch the cranberry vodka once we started. So I started pulling this together really last minute. So I have a peanut butter hard cider that I got from like a cider festival.
Oh.
It tastes okay. It's the whole brand is like not very sweet. And my friend and I both split like a 6-pack that you could like mix. The peanut butter one I remember being my favorite when we were tasting it. And then I have my Stanley Cup. What is this? My Stanley Cup. Like I'm a little Instagram influencer.
No, you have to put you have to like put like your nails on it, like make the little clinky sound.
I have my little Stanley Cup, which I
just pulled the Jar Jar cup out of the corner leg.
Is that a cup?
Yeah.
Obsessed. Where do you drink out of? Can you drink out of Jar Jar's mouth?
I don't know. I haven't tried it. Oh no, there's a straw hole.
Oh, okay. Out of his bag. That's sexy. Anyways, I bought myself the Stanley Cup as a little birthday present for me because I was like, I need to drink more water. Maybe I'll drink more water if I have a $40 fucking cup that everyone on the internet has. It works. I'm emotionally attached to this. You will not leave me, or you will not see me leave my house without this. Is that
my emotional attachment? No. Oh. It's just a big glass bottle that I am emotionally attached to.
We all need.
I have mine with my stickers on it. One of my stickers says.
Well, where is it, Rachel? If you're emotionally attached, where is it?
In my office, or no, in my bedroom, because that's where I drink every night. I go to my water bottle.
No, I think the funniest thing is like walking around the house getting ready for bed, and I have like a giant t-shirt on, and I'm just like carrying this thing, almost dragging it on the floor to bed. Like, let's go.
I'm still in the habit where I carry mine like a baby. Like you can kind of see I carry it like this all the fucking time. No reason.
Twisters.
Yeah.
What the people are here for.
The Twisters. Guys, this movie starts off to the fucking races We got Kiernan Shipka herself with a look, as part of a team with Anthony Ramos.
Why did you? Oh, there we go.
Casey Edgar Jones.
How did you say his last name?
Ramos, isn't it?
Is it
Ramos.
Ramos.
I never forget what he did. So
We forgave him after Twisters. I forgave him. He has been, what is the word when like someone's like no longer is held responsible
absolved.
for his crime. Absolved of his crime.
I'll never forget. Ramos. I did know that. I don't know what's wrong with me. You know what was wrong? I was trying to remember who.
Daryl McCormick, which is who I was gonna yell at you for not naming before. Kiernan.
I was trying to remember what her boyfriend's name was, and I was like, let me list off.
Good luck to you, Leo Grande or Grande, however you say his last name. That movie on Hulu. So fucking good. I seriously saw him on
Bad Sisters, or am I?
I haven't seen Bad Sisters, but I need to.
Well, yeah, he is in Bad Sisters. Nailed that one. Anyways, they're all part of a little crew. They're in college. They're like, we're gonna go tame a storm. Yay! Stupid. Don't try and tame storms. What do you mean you're gonna tame a storm? And so then
Scary Play Can't Be Tamed by Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. So in theory, everyone who is in the line of fire dies except for Casey Edgar Jones's Kate. And I'm not even exaggerating.
And Anthony. Oh, I guess he was. Didn't he say
He
that?
wasn't in the line of fire.
Okay.
Yeah, he was off. I don't know where the fuck he was. He was somewhere else with a computer. Like, I got this, guys. Yeah, that is the okay. I need to talk about this logic before we get into the actual crux of this movie. How exactly does somebody that far away help them figure out the science of that situation? Because the same general principle of it happens with like Tyler Owens's crew, because there's always people who are like further away from like him and stuff. But how would I don't understand the logic and science.
I will say it works just the way tonsils growing back works. We're not supposed to understand it, but it happens.
It's funny that like that's like your thing with the movie, because I thought that was pretty, because like you're watching it on a Doppler. Like the Doppler doesn't care how close you are. You just say, hey, it's going left, it's going right.
Well, Kate knows what a Doppler
their
is.
GPS.
Yeah, Kate does know what a Doppler is.
Well, Kate knows what a Doppler does, because
Hey,
never
that's why
heard that word before in my life.
Her name is Kate, as is Daisy Edgar Jones's name. Oh wait,
Yes, this is what it is.
I have a question for you, Kate. When Glenn Powell aggressively screamed your name out the window with some wind, how did that feel for you?
Felt beautiful.
Was it like when in Batman he's like, Rachel? I was like, what? I didn't do anything.
No, I was like, yes, Glenn. Yes. Coming.
That is one of my favorite things about this movie is I'm like, sir, in what fucking world did a woman at least 2 miles away in a car hear you screaming her name?
That's the power of love, Rachel.
The power of love.
Huey Lewis taught us well.
So I will say that cold open, or not cold opening, what are we going to that opening is
cold open.
Are we calling it a cold opening?
Essentially. It's a cold open, yeah.
That was awesome. I remember watching that and being like utterly like blown away, silent when I watched that in theaters for the first time, because I had no idea what I was getting into, and I just remember seeing that.
You were blown away?
I was blown away. Wow, Rachel, that was a good one.
Kind of like her boyfriend.
Oh my God.
That's like later in the movie when he's spinning around going, this is what it looks like to be in the middle of a tornado. I was like,
look, I did not expect that opening to be that mean.
Yeah,
like, genuinely. I kept thinking one of them was gonna survive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, that was actually traumatic.
Car a mile away from them. Javi survived. Everybody else other than Kate and Javi.
Well, I remember the discourse right when the movie came out. Everyone was really hard on like Kate's character. When I thought that her character, like I had so much sympathy for her after that cold open. Like, you know, I like the emotionless, the whatever was going on there. Like I felt like that cold open explained it. When I rewatched it though, when I just rewatched it, I thought her character was a little boring. And not even just boring, but like not written realistically. Like I just felt like there was like nothing there.
Yeah.
Like that was a traumatized woman written by a man.
Yes, and I think like that's what got me, because like it was one of those things where, like, I could understand what it was like, what they were going for, in the sense that like she has to open up, but I feel like they were trying to do too many things with her and she just fell flat, because like you have the story of her going from being stoic to realizing she can grow close to somebody. That's one thing. But then the other thing is like, oh, she's thrown away her hometown and now she's gonna have to want to go back home to like save it. And I think that just, neither of those things felt compelling when they were trying to like go along at the same pace, versus if you had just picked one, because I think it gets really hard to, because I think Tyler exists as an analog to her, because he's somebody who has never left necessarily, like, I would say home, but like he's never left his region because he is taking care of it, and she left it to go take care of herself. And I think that is very compelling when you put those two characters against each other, but you lose the other part. Yeah, because I was actually down on her character at first, and then I was more down on her character the second time that I watched it.
Well, I'll say maybe that's what I was feeling when, after the big tornado hit, the rodeo scene happened, and then we got stuck with her at home for like 45 fucking minutes, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I literally don't give a shit.
See, here's the thing. I love it because it literally is just, they flipped Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, because when you look at it, Glenn Powell is Helen Hunt and she was Bill Paxton. So I am like, I could give two shits about 90% of like the logic of like who they are. I'm like, I don't care. I want these two to smooch each other. Fuck you, Steven Spielberg, a sentence I never thought I would say as a human.
I don't agree. I don't think they should have.
Wait, we have to table this until we talk about the rest of the movie. To kiss or not to kiss? That is the question.
But I don't care. They literally could just be like, I love those little moments where like they both are humans, and then it's like, and now we're fucking putting a drill in a truck and drilling it into the ground and sitting into a tornado. And I was like, great, I'm into this. I don't care why we would do this. I don't care why they said, let's put this British man in the car. I don't care about any of that.
The reporter was my favorite part. That British man was my favorite part of the whole fucking movie.
I love him.
He was so good.
I love him. I love him. I love him so much.
That man has been in 2 musicals I've seen, and he's played 2 extremely hot characters. He was Henry Higgins. Harry, he has 3 names, and it's like Harry something Patton. But he was Henry Higgins in the most recent My Fair Lady, and he comes out looking like a vampire at one point. And I was like, let's go. And then, I think she should have ended up with Henry Higgins, whatever. And then the second,
controversial.
Sorry, I think that other guy is boring. And then he was Aldous Huxley in Flying Over Sunset. And I don't care. I love Aldous Huxley very dearly. So I was like fully on board with that guy. So when he appears as a reporter who just let this girl say, my name's Kate, and refused to give a last name, I was like, you're bad at your job, but I love you. Because what British person gives a flying fuck about Tornado Alley in America?
So I will push back on that. If only all of my European friends that I have met that have come to South by are freaking enamored with all of our weird shit.
Okay,
like,
well, never mind that.
consistently.
Do they not have that weather in
No, like, and that, but that's why, because like, so it's one of those like so I loved him because he was like he was the European mind cannot comprehend meme, but like in real life. Good. And that was what I really liked about it, because I think that there is a natural inclination to make people from the South and that are that loud seem dumb. And when you juxtapose it against a like Brit reporter who like is the standard of what we think, like, was it Attenborough can say anything and I'll immediately believe him because the authority comes in his accent.
Yeah, true.
I feel like you juxtapose the two and you get the like, yo, this British man is out of his depth. What is he doing? Why are you still here? Which is why it's even better towards the end when he finally is like, yes, write it. Let's go.
Well, I have a new appreciation for this man now, and also science.
All right, so briefly, I'm gonna run down the nonsense that leads up to Tyler Owen's appearance because there's like
none of that's important.
None of it's really
none
important.
of it's important. No.
A little brief rundown. Kate slices her leg open when her boyfriend dies and is like, "Oh no!"
I was like, I did.
She's like, "Oh no, I must leave. I go to New York." And so they're in New York. And then Javi appears and is like, "Hey, I actually need you." First of all, fuck you, Javi, for going to your friend who is traumatized from that situation and being like, "Come on back, girly pop." But like, it's fine. They're besties by the end of this movie. But I was like, what the fuck is this going on here? He explains to her that when he was in the military, there was technology that can use to like give a map of a tornado. But also, I still don't understand why he needed to go like this in the water to point out that it's like if you put 3 cameras, it'll give
it's
an
all
image.
Jurassic Park's fault.
Yeah, it is.
Honest.
And that's why I loved it. I was like, this is fine. I don't know why you're doing that, but I'm into it. It's great. So then Kate's like, fine, dude, I'll go home. And then she goes home to her Miranda Lambert song. They're like driving through Oklahoma. And she goes to meet his team of Storm Par, which includes Superman himself, David Cornsweet. And
I was unreasonably attracted to that man the second and third time I watched this movie, and I don't know why.
I couldn't listen. Superman, David Cornsweet. Hollywood, David
No,
Cornsweet.
I think it's the forearms.
Politician, David Cornsweet.
I think it's the forearms.
No,
I think it's the forearms.
You can't say that when he's in a movie against stubbly Glenn Powell. Like, this guy is a button up to hear doofus. Him. I would even give you Anthony Ramos. Like, I would give you literally any other man in this movie than David Cornsweet.
Glenn P. only. Glenn P. only. Maybe the British reporter. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh,
sorry. We gotta zoom through this movie faster, you guys.
Kate's like
running
forearms, which I relate to. I just could not handle that personality. It rubbed me the wrong way in this movie. I was like,
that's
fair.
I couldn't either. I was just like, oh no.
You're like, but that is the hottest thing on a man. Sorry to the men who don't know. When you have forearms. Anyways, so we're now here. We're at a gas station where all of these people who think they can chase storms show up, and they think they can chase storms because of the tornado wrangler himself, Tyler Owens (parentheses Glenjamin Powell). So the whole thing is that like he is a YouTuber streamer. Hey, streamers. Streamer who goes into tornadoes and does whatever his like fans tell him to do. So they'll be like, shoot some fireworks, and he's like, you got it, and just like goes into a tornado and does the thing that the person told him to do. But he's doing it to raise money to help. I'm speeding it to help victims of like tornadoes. And it's like for a good cause, but you think when the first time you meet him that he's just a douche.
I mean, but wait, I think he's allowed to be a douche with like a heart of gold. Because I think he was a douche the whole
90% of Glenn Powell's filmography.
Right, but like it's not like a but or like an and/or thing. Like, because I think his intro, he's established as such a douchebag. The entire team just has like this insane lack of safety.
Like hard eyes. They're just like
it was just crazy. I think that he's a douche with a heart of gold, but that he's still a douche at the end of the day.
Yeah. I don't think he transforms, but I also have a lot of respect for somebody who is like a douche because they know that they're insanely good at what they do, but like they will also like have a heart of gold.
Yeah, I thought you were about to be like they were a douche because they're insanely good looking, and I was like,
oh no. Honestly, I still agree.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Whenever someone starts telling me like a story about something bad that happens to them, I'm always just like, so what did the person look like though? Like that controls my level of like how much someone can get away with.
Oh my god. So Anyways,
I didn't say that out loud.
You said it live. And then Kate meets Tyler and is like, oh, what's this guy's deal? I will say when I saw it in 40X the second time, people straight up cheered when it was like, ain't no love in Oklahoma. And he just like rolls up and is like, if you feel it, chase it. And I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. Yeah, that's her face.
I took this picture of her face when she first sees Tyler because I just think it's like perfect.
It's amazing.
That's I know that face. Anyways, was like that's no. That is a face I think many women who are like, why am I attracted to this make? And so I get it. But essentially for like what? I would say 15 minutes of this movie, it is like Stormpar trying to beat the Tyler's team in like getting to a tornado and just like negging each other the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all that happens back and forth. And it's like Kate's slowly kind of like being like, huh, what's going on with Javi and Superman and this weird guy who keeps showing up? And it's like they give you like little hints that something else is going on, but for the most part, it is straight up just Tyler being like, tornadoes over there. Hey, Kate. Just like
that entire subplot with Javi, though, I was so interested in it. And I'm really like, I don't think it fit in the time of the movie that we had. Like, I think we already had too much going on. But I think that was one of the more interesting parts of the movie. And I would have liked for them to maybe cut out Kate's home life and give us a little bit more of that little like evil subplot.
We needed Moira Tierney.
True.
I agree with you, Raven, because like I don't like it as it currently exists in the movie. But there is another movie where that's the main plot and it's actually really, really good.
Oh.
Like I think it was just kind of like doop, two things put together instead of like working together. Because I liked the parts on their own, but in the movie I was like, ooh.
I also feel like they let Javi, because they weren't willing to dive into it too deep. They let Javi off really easily.
Yes. Yeah.
He's just hanging out.
He just all of a sudden was like, are you doing something bad that everyone else knew you were doing? I don't like that. And then all of a sudden he's a hero.
Well, no, I don't think he's a hero. I think he's a third wheel is what he is. He's such a third wheel in this movie. So essentially what is happening for those who, I don't know, haven't seen Twisters, it is leading to Kate and Tyler getting closer and being like, flirty. And what I really love is that like when Tyler kind of snaps at her about Stormpar and Javi and like what they do at these events, it's not even like a mean snap. He is just kind of like, bro, do you understand what they do? And then goes and apologizes essentially to her without like he didn't do anything wrong. He's correct in this situation. She was being kind of like, I'm just trusting my friend. I'm ignoring 90% of the signs that tell me something is up here. And I think that's very funny and sweet that he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and see her and be like, I'm sorry.
It's a little Southern boy.
He's like, I have to go apologize.
I do feel that Daisy and Glenn had really great chemistry, both like on screen and off screen. Like I was just no doubt about that. I thought that they were really great as romantic interests, and I was into that whole ride.
It is a ride.
It is a ride.
Yeah,
and so 40X with the tentacles.
And so then okay. We're at the rodeo. So the rodeo scene, fine, whatever, it's cute. They're like, oh, look at us, we're learning about each other. Glenn Powell's parents are like sitting behind him, acting. At one point,
question, Rachel, you know the answer to this. So there were animal rights protesters during the early screenings of this film, which I assume is due to that rodeo scene. Explain that to me, because none of the animals seemed like they were in any direct way of harm in that scene. What was going on? What were they protesting?
So consistently, I know you said Rachel, but like
okay, if you know
rodeos, like rodeos don't. It depends, but most rodeos do not like the act of riding a bull and
Did I say cows? I said cows.
But like the act of riding a bull, like it is in an antagonized state. So these animals are consistently anxious and they do get hurt when they do perform like that. So it's essentially like it would be akin to like somebody protesting like SeaWorld and stuff like that. It's a little bit different because I do think that there are humane ways to interact. There is also, so that's one level of it. But then you also have the other level where, like, at a lot of stock shows and rodeos like that, they are selling animals for slaughter as well. Because you eat meat, and it's usually local ranchers or ranchers in the area that like come and do that. So like, I'm neither here nor there on that. I eat a whole bunch of meat. I think I think hunting is good and everything like that. But that would be why somebody who is like an animal rights activist would protest it, because of just kind of like the legacy of what happens with the animals, and then just like the act of like buying.
I just didn't think there was ever any like founded information.
No, I don't know. Yeah, not in the movie.
Yeah, like, they've even got the pass from like organizations that were like, no, this movie's fine. So that's why people were really confused. Like, is it just because there is a rodeo? Like, it's
right. Well, I watched it. I was like, are they gonna throw a bull in the tornado or the twister? I was like waiting for something crazy to happen. Yeah. But okay, so there's this big rodeo. Rachel, take it away.
Oh, so then it's nice. They're having little flirts. Which, oh wait, no. Oh my God, I passed the part I wanted to talk about. When he goes to get her to go to the rodeo, if you watch Glenn Powell in the scene where he like brings her pizza, he goes to lean on the door frame, and it is the funniest way I've ever seen a human being trying to lean on a door frame. Because all he had to do was like do one of these, and it is like you in the scene that they put in the movie, it looks like Glenn Powell had a moment where he was like, where's the frame? And like had to find the door frame to lean on it. And it is just very cute and funny to me. I don't know if it was intentional for like Tyler or if it was more of like the shot they used was Glenn being like, I don't know where the frame is, so I need to figure out so I don't fall. But it was just very cute and I love it. And that is one of my favorite parts of this entire movie is that Tyler Owens can't lean on a door frame.
I will have to rewatch it and notice that and pay attention.
Yeah, I had never noticed that.
It's so cute when you clock it because he's like, and then he leans on it and it's bad and I love it so much. Anyways, the rodeo. They go, Kate tells him, you keep calling me city girl. I'm not actually from New York. I'm from Oklahoma. And he's like, what? And so then they have a cute little moment. And then all of a sudden the air shifts. And she's like, were you tracking cells out here? And he's like, no. So they're trying to get everyone to safety because a tornado jumps the rodeo and causes chaos.
Wait, but they go to the rodeo for fun, right? Like they go to the rodeo for fun, and then that's when they notice.
Yeah, that's why she asked him, were you tracking cells out here? And he's like, no, it is just literally like a tornado just said, knock, knock, bitch. Here I am. So then they go and they're trying to get everyone to safety and get themselves to safety. And that's when Bill Paxton's son is in the movie, which that makes me really happy because the boy who's an asshole in the hotel is Bill Paxton's like son, and that's his cameo in it, which I think is really sweet.
That's cute.
But yeah, and then it ends up being an incredibly hot sequence. Like, I am sorry. I know it's a natural disaster and it's scary, but it is very hot watching this man attempt to like save people and then like hand above her and stuff. I was like,
in the empty pool, they all like get into an empty pool, super sexy, little
when he's
fun times.
The forearms again.
Forearm action.
The forearms are forearming.
It's great.
I will say, I thought that sequence was more interesting and better than I think the ending of the movie when they do like the big storm.
Ooh, yeah, I agree.
I liked it. I liked the rodeo thing. Like truly, the rodeo was the climax of the movie.
Yeah, I agree. Because then we'll just bypass hanging out with Kate's mom. Outside of my favorite part of this movie too is that Tyler Owens just appears places. Like he will just literally be like, and now I'm here. And like too, in this movie's defense, which I love this movie for it, it'll be like, well, how did Tyler know that where her mom lives? And then he will go, so-and-so figured out who you were. So I like found it. Like it's like they
I was
explain.
gonna say small town. Like you don't have to explain anything if it's a small
that's
town.
why I really loved it. Yeah, because I was like, he could literally just go to anybody and be like, "Hey, where's Mama? Whatever the hell Kate's last name is, farm," and you know exactly where to go.
Love a small town.
I was like, great. He can pop up everywhere and it logically makes sense. I love it so much because he like.
Oh, go on.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, but during this like sequence when they're at her mom's house, doesn't she like pull up old stuff from like her boyfriend? And this is like the first time this man is mentioned an hour and a half into the movie after he died in the first half. Like I just feel like all of that, like, take it away. We did not need it.
If she started burning his pictures, I'd have been like, good girl, you found a man.
But she didn't do anything with them. She's just like, oh, I'm sad still. Girl, you've been sad.
I think
he's been dead.
Raven, how long are you gonna grieve for?
No, it's like fine, but like it's just it wasn't. I don't think we needed it in the movie when there was already just so much already going on.
I think like I love when they're in the barn specifically because she kind of like the way she treats Tyler at first is very much like, you're a hick, like why are you talking to me? And there's that part where he just kind of like no, I literally have a degree. Like I do all this. And I think like that for me is like the crux of the movie. And I think one of the reasons why I was really frustrated when people kept saying it was a Midwest thing, and it was like, no, it's a Southern thing, very specifically, because like that accent, the way you act, like all of that gets put into one specific category when really like dude has a whole ass degree and like has done the most impressive thing, which is teach non-technical audiences a very technical thing, which is like in teaching and communication is like highest level of skills. And like this part in the movie, like I, as much as I agree with you, Raven, that there's just too much of it, I can't throw it out because of that one part. I can throw out the boyfriend stuff, but like new boyfriend stuff I think is very good.
Right. No, it could have just been like sliced in half. I also wonder then, because I also thought his character was just like very fascinating, began to end. Like, did we need more of him? Because I just feel like we only get Tyler really in like little slices in Kate's life. I really wish that he maybe had a bit more initiative in the movie, or more perspective.
Yeah. Well, so then he shows up, and then we get the rain sequence, which I needed more water though, because she comes out, her hair is sopping wet. And I was like, why is the shirt dry? And maybe it's because he had the cowboy hat on. I do like the stories.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and I do like the stories where Glenn Powell was like, I put a white shirt on. He's like, maybe take the jacket off. Like, we're talking about how Lee Isaac Chung was like, take the jacket off, like walk out in just the shirt. Like he was inside.
He does people what they want.
Well, then it like he clued into what was happening. Like when he got outside, he was like, they want me in a wet t-shirt. Like he was like, this is a wet t-shirt scene. And I think that's very funny that it was like, there you go. It's a wet t-shirt moment. But
they don't kiss there either.
Yeah, they don't. They do not kiss there. But he does say, which I thought was incredibly hot, where she's like, can you still pull up that model? And he's like, yes, ma'am. I was like,
immediately obsessed.
Yes, ma'am. And they do science together. Then there's like, that's the whole thing, is like this part is the rom-com moment, because it's like they do science together. They're like, oh my God, look how beautiful it is. Yes, it's beautiful. And he's talking about her. And then there's like, it's just a bunch of like, let's do science together and figure out how to save the world. And it's a fun little sequence, but I loved it, but I understand the need to cut it down to like maybe do her in the car one time, do the she's beautiful thing, and then do like, oh, here's the actual science.
It's just a lot of movie in the second half. It's just a lot of movie. And I love movies, and it's too much.
It's the only part of the movie where I feel the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there's that big disaster at the end.
They go back. It's very funny because I love Brandon Perea, and I think it's very cute that he is like so mad that Tyler just like up and left him, and he's like, I will not.
It's adorable.
Apologize. Like, it is so cute that he's like, that's my boyfriend and he won't talk to me anymore. It's like, what is happening? This is adorable. But they like figure out the science behind it, but before they can actually like see if it'll work, the giant big boy tornado comes through and catches on fire at one point. Brandon,
this was Sharknado vibes to like top tier.
Did you know that this really happens?
With the fire?
That is a real thing. Yes. Fire-nados are actually a thing, and it's a big issue in places where they drill oil because
like Texas.
It's like not funny. It's like not funny.
It actually happens.
No, I hate that. I hate that.
I know that. Science.
No, the only reason I know that is because I also was like, damn, that was a lot. Why'd you do a fire-nado? And somebody was like, that actually happens. And I was like, oh, shit.
And Superman and Usnavi almost die. I'm just going to start calling Superman and Usnavi instead.
It works.
It is a fire whirl.
Whirl?
Fire whirl.
I hope that the Twisters franchise continues in the same sense that Sharknado did, where they just keep introducing new elements to the Twister.
Gladiator 2, where a shark just appeared out of fucking nowhere, and I was like, hello? But yeah, so then
Rachel's like flex. I've seen Gladiator 2.
I know. I was like, thanks for spoiling that, Rachel.
Spoiling that a shark is in the movie.
Yes.
It's fine. I'm terrified. So then
I haven't seen it yet.
Anyways, so then they're like, let's go to, I almost said the mall. They're like, we gotta go, we're getting away. And they're like, oh no, it changed direction. And so then they're like, we gotta go save these people, get them inside. And the people are playing like baseball, and like it's like a fucking county fair, because of course it is. And you have this is what I'll say about this movie. They have the dumbest people in these towns, because they'll be like, but I have to close up shop. I'm like, no, you don't. Get out of there. You don't have to close up shop. Like, people will forgive you and help you out. You're in a small town. Like, just go, leave. Everyone try and get to safety. Because that one guy was like, I got to take down my shirts. and Tyler's like,
that's such like small town vibes. Like, those people don't give a single shit.
No. They're like, just some wind.
Right, just some wind.
No, I have a friend who's from like rural Mississippi, and she was like, yeah, I remember during tornado warnings when the sirens would start going off, we tried to get grandpa inside and he just wouldn't go.
Good.
I lived in Missouri for a while, and like my parents never took tornadoes seriously. Meanwhile, I'm like on Twitter like, oh my god, we're gonna die, and they're like, Raven, just watch TV. If something bad happens, we'll know.
we'll be aware. So then what happens? So what had happened is they get to this town, and truly I've never been angrier at a fictional man in my life than Tyler Owens being trapped under a thing, being like, leave me. Like, he's like, just leave me here. I'm trapped. I'm going to die on the ground.
Their Titanic moment. They needed a Titanic moment.
And meanwhile, here comes Javi, like, just use some leverage. Like, here, like, get the thing out. And then I'm going to make everybody sopping wet because a bunch of water is going to fall on them. It's like, they were like, how can we get all of these boys soaking wet for a second time? Let's drop a water tower on them in this scene, so then they have to just be in wet clothes the rest of the movie. And I do think that's funny. That's a funny little...
That is like so fun, but all I can think is like, they did nothing for lesbians. Like, underfed community. I can't talk about any more men in wet shorts. I don't want to hear about another forearm.
Sorry. Look, I for one am happy that men are finally being put into wet t-shirts.
Fine, yes.
Look, the titty power must be spread across every gender.
That's true. That is a truer statement.
Good point, Kate.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Then
they could have got Daisy wet too.
We love respecting women.
Just in a truck. Because as I referenced earlier, Tyler Owens starts screaming for Kate. So they get everyone into this movie theater, and they're like, we got to find a basement. Oh no, there is absolutely no basement in this movie theater. What do we do? And so Kate has decided, you know what? Time to see if my science is right in real time. And like, is like running towards the truck. She is a good, like, at minimum football field away from the door. And there is a tornado, like, whipping around this town. And you see Tyler Owen sitting in the door being like, Kate! Bro. She wasn't coming back regardless, but she sure as shit wasn't hearing you yell Kate out a door with a bunch of wind whipping around. So then you got Howdy Doody. You got like 3 dudes trying to figure out how to fucking save people. Meanwhile, she's over there being a hero. And it is just very funny because it's like, we're like, oh my God, is Kate going to do it? Is it going to go off? Is she going to stop the tornado? Meanwhile, they're holding on for dear life to like movie theater seats. And I'm like, everyone's going to die in this movie theater. The boys fail so hard trying to protect everybody. And she succeeds. Like I was like, and that's the end of that movie.
No doubt. So the thing about this movie, though, is I feel like the way that it was laid out, there was like no question in my mind that everyone was going to live and they were going to solve the tornado. They were going to survive the tornado.
Yeah.
But now it's my favorite part. To kiss or not to kiss.
So,
that's
all right.
So do you want to, can I say a fun, well, it's not really a fun fact. Can I say a fun fact about the theater in which that was destroyed? So yeah, that theater was actually severely damaged in real life by a tornado.
Well, that's okay. That is.
Did they film it there as like an
homage?
Like, it was like a little. Homage.
I don't know if they did actually. So I would assume they did because a lot of like genuinely a lot of the research like for reconstructing parts of like what is now Dixie Alley, I think are really well done down to how like they show the shifting. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it had to have been an homage. I feel like it had to have been. But yeah. That was a fun fact, which I get. It's weird because, like, fun fact, it was really destroyed. But like, also fun fact, it was there to be used again.
Yeah,
so, yeah, that is nice.
I like knowing that. Yeah.
And then now, get to the end of this movie, where they are in the airport. I don't understand why Tyler came on his own. Like, it's a whole like.
It's weird.
Like, you weren't gonna tell me, but I do like it that she's like, no, I made my friend drive me because he promised he would drive me. So we
got Javi and Tyler at the airport dropping Kate off
with Paul Scheer.
Who's Paul
Scheer? Oh my God, Raven. Paul Scheer is a brilliant comedian who plays the guy who's like, you got to move your car.
When I watched that the second time, I went, oh, he looks familiar.
Paul Scheer.
I
love him very dearly. You should listen to How Did This Get Made? A perfect podcast. Where all of them didn't realize the Fast and the Furious movies are good, and they brought Adam Scott on and then went back and watched every single Fast and the Furious movie because they were like, these rule. But
I love that.
So my favorite part of this scene, we'll get into the kiss or not kiss, but the hottest thing I think a man can do is do something for a woman without asking her. And when Tyler goes to grab her bag and just carries her bag out of the airport for her, I think that is one of the hottest things I've ever seen in a movie because he doesn't say, let me grab this. He doesn't make a big to do about it. He just grabs her bag and they leave. And I think that shit is hot.
I want to know how intentional that was. Like, I want to know if it was like in the script, Tyler grabs a bag, or if Glenn was just like, I'm a perfect man. I know a perfect man would grab the bag.
I'm a perfect
like, though, like how scripted was that move?
That's what runs through his head on a daily basis. When he's running,
I'm a perfect man. I'm a perfect running man.
Oh my God. Okay, fine. Kiss or not kiss? I already know we're
setting the scene. Tyler gets out. What isn't it? Isn't it Javi? Javi is like, Tyler, you have to go get your girl, and he like ends up getting his girl.
So writing so much of this scene. Javi's just like, come on, man, and gets in a car. Like, that is what he does. He's like,
we know what that means. So then Glenn P like gets out of his car and like runs into the airport, and it's him.
The airport car, like the road, because he puts the little
spinny thing down in his car. Yeah. The little Paul Scheer is like, I'm going to tow you. And Glenn is like, do it, bitch. And then puts his little tornado thing down in the ground, which again, reckless destruction of property. These people have his team. No regards to safety whatsoever. No respect there. Fine, whatever. It's cute. He goes into the airport, stops Kate.
They're standing literally.
They're standing.
I'll do it. I'll imitate with
Do it
me
with Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. They're like this. This is how close they are to each other. They're like this.
And then that little ding ding announcement, and it's all like, all flights are delayed because of storms. And then they walk out.
Yeah.
Of the airport. So the question is, to kiss or not to kiss?
They filmed a kiss. They did film a kiss. And then Stevie Spiels was like, I don't think they need a kiss. And on the one hand, that's fine because it makes me like, oh, they're flirty still. Like they could still be a thing, whatever. On the other hand, fuck you, Steven.
Is this your take? You. This is Kate, or this is Rachel's take on to kiss or not to kiss. It's fuck you, Steven.
Fuck you, Steven. I want to see the kiss. You know what? At this point, I like the movie as it is. It's a perfect film. That's fine. Release the kiss. Let me just see it.
Instead of like the Zack Snyder cut, it's just like the kiss cut.
Release the kiss cut.
Okay, Kate, what's your take? To kiss or not to kiss? So Rachel, you're either's fine. Rachel doesn't give a shit.
She wants the kiss cut. I think she
but she's like fine with it not being in the movie, right?
More. Like, thank you for Hitman. I know there's a lot of fucking kissing in Hitman, but what if we kiss in other movies too?
So does this mean you're to kiss? You're team
kiss? I don't know anymore. Sure, yes, I'm team kiss in this instance.
Okay. She's like team kiss at like a 4, not like a 5. Like it's not like an even split.
All right, Kate.
I am very pro not kiss, and the very specific reason. Hey, it's okay. Me and the dozens of us that enjoyed it the way it is are fine. No, so like for me, you said the hottest thing a man can do is do something a woman needs without the masking, right? For me, the hottest thing a man can do is share a passion with me in which the moment that happens, we drop everything else and go do it. And that is what that moment is for me.
I know. I'm
sure they're about to kiss, but like the fact that they are united by science and a passion and excitement. And I think for me, that's also the moment in the film where you know that she has like really come back alive without like this this pressing danger. Like she's running to it versus being thrust into it. Mm-hmm. Not kissing and just going to go chase that matters to me more.
Because I think there's propose an alternative. Can I propose an alternative, Kate? What if they kissed and then just did that?
Or what if they were walking?
I like it.
We're like, as they're walking.
No, but they could like kiss and then the announcement comes on and then they're like, oh, we're not going to fuck in this airport. We're going to go chase some storms. Like, that's not the same thing.
That's fine. I don't think love and affection always has to be shown through physicality. Mm-hmm. And I actually disagree with Rachel. I think everybody is kissing all of the time. That is one of the only forms of romance that we get. And I think that it is okay to have romance that it like, because it's undeniable that they are with each other at that point. It is undeniable that they are vibing on such a deep level at that point. You don't have to solidify it with physicality because every other movie will solidify it with physicality. I think Steven made the right choice because it makes it different.
Okay, unfuck Steven, but only because Kate made more.
I am okay. However, I am okay with Raven. I am okay with Raven's submission of kiss. Maybe get it down and dirty in an airport and be like, oh no, time to run, get the clothes on. But it has to go that far first. No singular kiss. They must be interrupted and choose a tornado.
Because it's not the Mile High Club because you're still on the ground, but you are in an airport.
The Mile Low Club.
What would that be called?
I'm sorry, but I need to get back to Kate saying it's fine if they don't kiss, but if they were to almost fuck,
go all the way.
Yes, because there's something important about it. Like I don't know how to like really explain it, but there is something important about choosing your life's passion and doing that with somebody else over immediate satisfaction. And I think if it's just a smooch, like choosing that over that makes sense. In order for it to have the same weight, you have to be
physically exactly. And then you go, maybe let's take a pause.
So Kate makes 110% all sense. Totally get it. I get the thought process there.
But also
sex in a bathroom.
Totally the kiss cut. All. I also agree with Rachel. Release the kiss cut. And then my thought is just that I have to sit and watch these two people pine over each other for 2 fucking hours, and then like also pretend to care about all the other shit that's going on in this movie. I want them to fucking kiss. I want them to fucking kiss.
That's fair.
Or fucking for like either or. I would like to see some intimacy there, because I just feel like as a viewer, I have invested so much time and energy into this relationship over the last 2 hours and 2 minutes. I think something because I get that, like Kate, you're saying that's like it's undeniable that they were together at that point in the movie. Totally true, but also, were they together at that point in the movie? Because he was sitting his ass in that fucking car, and her friend had to say, "Go follow her into the airport."
And then he took her bag, and I said, "This is hot."
And I didn't, so I needed to see something, obviously.
I think what is missing for me, not missing, but like I think because like I very much see them as people who view each other as equals and people who view each other as dedicated to the work that they do. It actually doesn't bother me that he was just sitting there, because I actually think that if I told my husband, "Hey, I need to go to work, goodbye, stay in the car," or even just like, "Okay, I gotta go to work, goodbye, see you like in 2 weeks when I come back," because they like the way that it's talked about, you know that she's just going there because she has to go back, like it's not cutting anything off. And so like I see him as being like, "Oh yeah, cool, my girl's gonna go to work." And then Javi being like, "You were so dumb, get up and go tell her." And I think that like that's how I envision him, is like a man who is so respectful of the person who he loves and her career that he's just like, "Okay, bye honey." And then somebody has to be like, "Get up, go."
I'll say we now
think that is cute.
About the movie Twister twice now on the Powell Pod. This movie respects women.
It does.
This movie respects women. I'm fine without the kiss now that I've come to that conclusion.
Now, if they were fucking though, we'd be
then we would have agency even more. So we'd have romantic, intimate agency, and that would be even more.
Which, never mind. I was gonna be like, which Hitman? It does. So it's like maybe that's the ticket. The like Powell movie is there's just got to be sex scenes or there's no kiss.
Yeah,
like that's what's in his contract.
I think we're out of time. Are we out of time?
Yes, we are out of
Cowboys.
time.
No cowboys.
We can do a quick Cowboys.
Rachel, do yours. Do yours.
I'll do my words. Here you go. Suddenly cowboy, name beside me. Suddenly cowboy. Okay. My pick, that was a great version of that song. My pick for Cowboy, sorry to Brisket, you're beautiful, you were yelling at mine, is titties out in a mesh shirt pick where he's wearing some aviators, beautiful, love it.
Is that Vanity Fair?
Yes, this is from the Vanity Fair.
Beautiful. I need to add context that me and Rachel literally texted each other this photo at the exact same time.
I was Kate's text that said, "Oh my god," and then I just sent her this picture, and then I got the same picture in response.
Let's skip mine. Let's skip mine, and then just talk about the next episode. That's
oh my
mine.
Wait, oh my god!
I don't know where this is from. I found it on Twitter, but yeah, it's just Glenn P. Abs on display, playing with some water,
barefoot like any Southern boy.
Yes, like the vibes are just so good in that photo. I think like he's just so playful and cute.
Yeah. Go ahead. Talk about your text.
This is a picture seconds before disaster, because that is the game where we got our ass kicked by Georgia. That being said, he's a good old Texas boy. He is a Longhorn, as am I. And this man is the sole reason why I've gone back to rooting for my Longhorns during the college football season.
I loved all the cowboy hats in that photo. Like if you look behind Glenn, there's like 3 people with matching white.
Yes. So though that's our band. So that's their uniform.
Wow.
Yeah. But his cowboy hat is the exact same color as Matthew McConaughey's cowboy hat.
Of course. Very quickly, here's my brisket picture. He's yelling. Here's Kate's
Love
brisket.
him.
He's a puppy. With Sasha in the background. So this is clearly from
I was
Twister.
gonna say, I love not only just Sasha in the background, but Sasha with a glass of wine in the background.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
Icon.
Before we leave, we wanted to give a quick shout out to Maggie's beautiful interview that she did with Gerard Butler. It's very cute. You can watch it on Collider. It's very sweet. I will remember you, Maggie, whenever until you come back for Top Gun Maverick. We're gonna do Top Gun Maverick next.
Another action movie I'm probably gonna hate.
No, don't worry. It's about dads. It's a movie about dads.
That did not sell me more.
Movie about dads being role models and boys being boys. And then Bob. Yeah. So guys, that was Twisters. Thank you so much, Kate, for having us.
Yes, and for joining us in this unhinged conversation 10 hours into your streaming day.
We love
streamers.
Yes.
Yeah,
thank you all seriously for having me. Yeah, no. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just really happy that y'all said yes to had me on here to gush about my Texas boy. And then also, whoever is listening to this, if you head to butwhythough.net and click the pretty little support us button, you can actually donate to us or subscribe to our website year long. We're working really hard, and it's really rough out here for independent media, and it's something that we really should keep alive because we can have really dope conversations like this one, genuinely, because I think all of that comes from understanding films in a deeper way. You can only be chaotic if you understand the point.
That is so true. Very quickly, Kate, tell them where they can find you.
Oh, yeah. You can find me at My Myth Randier on Blue Sky and Twitter and Instagram. And then you can find all my work over at butwhythough.net.
Raven, quick,
go. At Raven T. Brunner at Blue Sky, Instagram, and Twitter for now. Writing everywhere, mostly people. Rachel, go.
Padre Pascal, my brother and mine's podcast called Cinema Sibs. You can read my work at the Mary Sue and Collider, and then I'm at Rachel Leishman on Twitter, and then everywhere else is Rachel_Leishman. I think Blue Sky is also just Rachel Leishman, but if you follow me one place, you can find all the others. Make sure you follow the podcast, Powell_Pod. Follow Maggie. She'll be healthy at another episode. And until next time when we talk about Top Gun Maverick, guys. And bye-bye.
Bye.